Welcome back to Draft Queens Off the Clock, the official podcast of the Draft Queens Fantasy League. We're still here. We just needed our own little bye week for some life stuff. And if you're just joining us, I'm Kristin.
And I'm Kat, and just want to say congratulations to you and to your future husband, Winston
Thank
Alexander
you.
Marshall.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
again, congratulations. And yeah, we just needed a minute to kind of chill out. And with that, Kristen, let's kick it into the longest review session we're probably going to have.
We've got a hell of a lot of sports to cover, so let's get into it. Well, it's been a couple of weeks of games since we last checked in, but as we wrap up the first third of the season, it's starting to feel like a statement making time, with teams saying, "We are here and we are ready to play." The Week 5 49ers held firm late. The Colts kept hammering, and the Cowboys reminded the Jets that making it through is still a work in progress. And a clash between the Chiefs and the Lions in Week 6 saw the Chiefs dominate. That defense locked down the Lions, holding them to just 112 yards in the second half. Now, the Chiefs look like they might be back in business. The Jets, not so much. The undefeated club has closed up for the season, however, with the Bills taken down by the Patriots in Week 5. The Jets, however, are still holding it down in the Zero Dub Club. Yikes. And as we film, Week 7 is wrapping up with the Bucks and the Lions. I believe the Lions just took a W there. And the Seahawks are currently hosting Houston at home, where I'll be running to as soon as we're done recording here.
I'm going to switch gears here for a second. And I know I always talk about notable injuries, but I want to talk about some notable returns
Ooh.
look, positive. We want to be positive. We're going into the second, third half of the season here. We really got to keep it positive. So in weeks 5, we had Jaden Daniels return with his after 2 weeks missing with his hamstring injury. Now, I know that I said this about hamstring injuries. It's either really long or really short. This one is really short. Hopefully, he doesn't re-injure or have something else happen.
Ooh.
I might be reading some tea leaves into the future. Who knows? We are a couple weeks behind. But we'll see. I mean, look, the Commanders really need him, so I'm glad to see him back on the field. And then over in the Cowboys, who I don't really talk about that much, look, CeeDee Lamb made his return back for after being out for 3 weeks from his ankle injury. And then finally, my favorite white trash looking long stringy haired man who I love very much, Mr. George Kittle, returned in week 7 after being on IR with his own hamstring since week 1, and with a an offense that is probably the most debilitating slash injured slash hot mess express. We need all the good juju we could get. So I'm super glad to have George back. And then shifting gears a little bit, I wanted to talk about our Thursday night of Week Seven's geriatric showdown
Uh-huh.
between between Aaron Rodgers and Joe Flacco. I don't know the exact. I think it was over 80 something is the combined age between the two of them.
That's
But God,
wild. The old man
right?
bowl indeed.
Old man bowl. I saw icy hot bowl was another name
Like
that was
it.
thrown
Like
around. I
it.
like it.
The Ben
I
Gay
like
bowl.
the Bengay, I like some kind of hemorrhoid cream. I mean, they should just do an ad together at this point. That was a great battle between Flacco, who had just moved over to the Bengals from Browns, and Aaron Rodgers, who has been playing for the Steelers this season. It did not disappoint. The Cincy ended up winning 33-31. And all I'm going to say to that is Jamar Chase finally has a goddamn quarterback, and I am happy. So
Yeah.
good job to Cincinnati. Again, I like the Bengals. I like Joey B. I'm stoked for Tia. She with Kittle back and Jamar Chase, her team might actually be pretty good. So
She has got a fighting chance to take it out of the bottom rungs here.
yeah, she really does. This second half of the season is gonna be interesting for her. Kristen, we got some winners and losers from 3 weeks in a row. Where are we going?
We
Please kick us
do.
off.
You know, I was going to give us the biggest winner, you and me, the biggest loser after that Week 6 45-point blowout. But thankfully, our race to the bottom bowl kept it spicy, with Nadia claiming a 60-point win over Hannah. So, we'd say it was anyone's game over here in Draft Queens, but I'm not sure that's the case anymore. Taking it to the main league here, I know everyone wants to root against the Kansas City Swifts, but they are looking alive again. And so I'm also going to give a winner of the week to Zaddy Canales and his Panthers. And while he may get me divorced before we even get married with that last minute field goal over the Cowboys in week 6, it is nice to know that the Zaddy blessings are still holding up. And as far as my losers, we've, I think, mentioned them 3 or 4 times already, but the Jets get a spot by default because your 0-6 season coming into it, it's just not a great look. Maybe you need Aaron Rodgers back. But let's
Oh,
also, let's talk about these finless Dolphins too. With Tua throwing 3 interceptions in week 7 this past weekend, it feels a little bit less like a blip and more like a cry for help.
starting off in our Draft Queens league, I just mentioned it. I think Tia is making a goddamn comeback, and I am saying it here. And we could go back to after review, but week 5 dominated. Week 6 she lost. Week 7 looks like she's going to dominate again, and not only dominate. We're talking like 150 plus points in week 5. And that leads me to my biggest loser. Unfortunately, Colette, I feel bad for you. After week 5, you put up 149 points and you still lost. And then over in the NFL, our big leagues, oh, God damn. Biggest loser. I'm so sorry. Bree, the Baltimore Ravens. What the fuck is going on in
What the
Baltimore, dude?
fuck?
Like,
Ugh.
we thought this was going to be a Super Bowl, like, ring team. Like, what? I don't know if I don't know if like we forgot our football prescription. I know that, Lamar's out again another week with his hamstring injury, and that's where I'm saying like hamstrings can last a while.
And
But
Lamar can play ball, but part of what has kept the Ravens always in these top standings is their defense, which is also
yes,
not great.
no,
Like,
not at all. And like, here's the thing. I'm gonna like spoiler. I don't even pay attention to the defense. I'm looking at your offense, and I'm like, you have one of the best running backs in Derrick Henry, and I'm just like, where did he go? Like, where
where'd he
are
go?
we, man? Where'd he go? He disappeared. He jumped into the what is it, the Chesapeake Bay? I don't know. I really like geography. We're gonna keep using geography in this pod. But yeah, my biggest loser. I'm so sorry, Bree. Again, if you want to come on the pod and talk about how you feel about the Ravens, you probably don't. I don't blame you. If it's from the 49ers, I'd feel the same way.
We'd
So
love to
sorry
have you,
about it.
though.
We would love to have you, but man, I hope for your sake Baltimore can figure it out at some point. Oh, all right, Kristen. I got to give it to you to the Zaddy Corner. This is the fan favorite. So please, where are we off to in episode 5?
Sorry, I was just quenching my thirst. It is about that time that we turn our attention back to my home turf, the Pacific Northwest, as we send our newest and youngest Zaddy some of that good juju as we roll into halftime over at Lumen. Welcome to the Zaddy Corner, Mike McDonald. Now, this man is calm, collected, and somehow gives off a "we'll text you back immediately" and blitz on a 3rd and 7 vibes. Now, coming from the Ravens, we knew he could turn chaos into choreography, and he's already got our defense looking spicy again. Now, McDonald is not just a zaddy, but he is my type of zaddy. A brainy dominance that could bet a girl with a 47-page PowerPoint. Now, sure, he's a little new to the big chair, and the Seahawks have had their growing pains early on. But let's be honest, the Zaddy Corner has a history of manifesting momentum. So here's the deal. Mike, if you're listening, the corner believes in you. The fade is tight, the scheme is tighter, and the NFC West isn't ready for a calm-voiced defensive genius who looks like he teaches philosophy at a private liberal arts school. So Seattle finally has a zaddy to believe in, and this one just might bring back the boom. Now let's throw it back to Kat for Dow's Dimes and take a look at the dime passes over the past couple weeks. Take it away, Kat.
Oh man. So I only have 2. And let's start with week 5. We've got Rashid Shaheed. Now, I hope I said that right. Gets an 87-yard touchdown pass. 87 yards. Kristen, can we do the
Oh,
math?
shit. Oh, no. Okay, wait. 261,
261. Okay.
I think.
Uh, well, Well, in the edit, we'll see. We'll see for sure. Anyways, but we're gonna go with it. We're gonna go with 261 feet.
That's a lot of
So,
feet.
I mean, the field is 300 feet. So, just in case you didn't know, the field's 300 feet. So, we're talking like pretty much 95% of the field. So, the craziest part of this pass is once he got the reception, he still had to run, a little bit. They clocked him at 21.72 miles an hour running.
That's nutty.
I,
That's
I,
what, less than a 3-minute mile?
something insane like that. Like I was trying, as I was like writing this down, I was trying to figure out, like, in comparison, like what could be something that goes about 21 miles per hour. Like,
What animal is he faster than?
he's faster than a horse, because those trot up to like 12 miles an hour, unless they're like, racing horses or whatever. But like, he's probably faster than almost any land animal, I would imagine, maybe except like a cheetah or some shit. But like,
Yeah.
21.72 miles an hour full speed running after he catches this long ball. Like, what is this
So
even?
impressive.
And then my other Dow's dime literally just happened yesterday in Phillies game. We had Devontae Smith had a 79-yard touchdown pass from Jalen Hurts. 79 yards, 237, 237. Yeah, 240 minus 3. Yeah, 237. I was like, I've done this before. I know what it is. We're getting good at math. Yes, 237 feet. Again, field's 300 feet. 237 feet. Now, this pass was crazy, and also one of the best passes I've ever seen, and the longest reception of Devontae's career. So,
Wow.
I mean, I'm glad the Eagles won. Go Birds. 79. 79's huge. So those are my Dow's dimes for weeks 5 through 7.
Yeah. I've got a soft spot for him. I think he's adorable. He's like 120 pounds, dresses fly, and, brings it to the field.
I mean, like, you know how I feel about the Eagles. I like the Eagles. I'm always gonna say go Birds again until they're playing certain teams. Like, it's cool, but that, like, yeah, I agree. And I like Jalen Hurts too. Like,
Mhm.
super nice guy, has an all women's management team. Like,
So handsome.
so handsome. Like, are we adding like are we adding zaddies that are like players at some
He might
point?
get an
Like,
extra credit spot at some point. We'll see.
I mean, if he keeps playing this well, like, I feel like he has to be included at some point, and that cues up. I will do a little slideshow of him looking handsome at some as we're speaking over this.
All right, we're going to bring it into the 2-minute warning. Kat, what are your hot thoughts?
All right, I've got a couple. So, my first one is we have the Packers are rolling into Pittsburgh. Now, it is going to be really interesting to see how Aaron Rodgers holds up against the Packers. Does he crumble against the pressure? Does he figure out how to get some passes? Does he make some offense? Do the Steelers win this game? Who knows? I personally think that think it's probably going to go to the Packers, but I could be wrong. Um, 50-50 shot. And then also I'm like, will the Ravens be able to bounce back? I said it, they're my biggest losers, and I'm probably going to keep saying it for a while. Like, they have a home game against the Bears, and the Bears are traditionally not very good. So I would say both of these teams are kind of equally yoked. Maybe they'll get lucky and have home field advantage on this one. I don't know. And then in the Draft Queens League, look, is Tia going to continue her hot streak? I mean, hot on week 5, cold on week 6, hot on week 7, really hot on week 7. Again, and she's playing her number one person in the league in Brett's J. Crew. So I'm looking at, can we get a lower seed team to upset the higher seed team? Because it helps me. I'm rooting for you, Tia, especially since, again, you've got Kittle back, you've got Jamar Chase looking like he knows how to catch a football.
Well, on my side, looking at the draft queens as I enter the lower third of the league, could my season be saved? And will the J Crew finally take an L this week to Jasmine and her 40 points from Bo Nix? And is Kat gonna eke her way into the top 2 spot and become insufferable to all of us? It's
Yes.
anyone's bet. I will also be betting on the Bills dominating a Bryce Youngless Panthers, a very competitive Chiefs versus Commanders game, especially depending on Jaden Daniels' current injury status. I will also be watching this Green Bay Packers at Pittsburgh for a bit of revenge and storyline. And as the Seahawks are going to be on bye for week 8, my fiance duties to the Cowboys against the surprisingly competitive Broncos will take a top spot in my games to watch. Well, that wraps it up for episode 5. We'll be back next week at our regularly scheduled intervals, unless someone else has a giant life event.
Yeah, I mean, again, Kristen, congrats. Winston, congrats. I just want for the record to put it out there that if I end up making it in the top two, I will be extremely fucking insufferable. And I will continue being insufferable for as long as I stay up in that top upper echelon of this league. And with that, I just want to say draft queens out.
Out.